You doing on this amazing Sunday? I'm doing great. My girl's doing great. My family's doing great. Hope each and every one of you are doing great despite the crazy times we're living in. Like, let's be honest. If you could please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that bell notification button to get all my videos when they're new. If you could share with somebody on social media, help spread the message, help spread the word, that'd be amazing. And there's a PayPal option if you'd like to donate, help support the channel. The link is in the description of most of my videos. So what's up? We gotta wait anyways till some people come in. At the end of the day, I started doing a live earlier and I had to fly out really quick, so I had to shut it down literally like after a minute. I want to apologize for that. But we are here, and I'm doing it in my car because I feel like bunning a spliff. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like doing. But yeah, it's all right. I mean, it's a nice enough car. It's only got 75,000 kilometers. That's the one good thing about it. But cold turkey, man. Appreciate that. Thank you. Sam G, what up? GM, what up? It's going good, brother. Busy weekend, you know. I never really like stop. It's kind of just go. So sometimes it's exhausting and it catches up to me, but for the most part, I've had a good time. I've had a good few weeks, you know. I told you guys that I've had a little bit of stress in my life lately. I'll talk about that at some point, but I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. It's nothing that's going to put me at risk or anything like that. It's just something that I've been dealing with. But you guys know what the channel is about. We speak on prison, we speak on addiction, we speak on life, and really whatever the topic of conversation you want to talk about, that as long as it's not going to get me shut off or block my channel silence, then I'm great. Not girlfriend, brother. My girlfriend don't care. I live in an apartment though, right? And I don't want to be disrespectful to the people that that live above me that don't like it. I could smoke in there if I want to, but it's nothing for me to come out here and smoke. Jared, what's up, man? Twitch? No Twitch for me, bro. I never really did joints. Too harsh for me. Love the water pipes. With the... Yeah. I'm a joints guy. I appreciate it. I smoke bongs too, but my nephew just came out, did a 10-year bit in max, having a really hard time just getting used to life on the outside. That's a really difficult thing for people, and a lot of people I don't think really understand how difficult it can be to adjust when you get out. You know, basically the day you get arrested, you are stunted technological wise, and just how society is moving faster and growing. You don't see it. So for you, it's kind of stuck on when you got arrested. So if you're doing a large portion of time, then when you come out, things are going to be very, very different. And that's not easy for people. It's not. And it can take time to adjust, and just the difference in attitudes and just your everyday, day-to-day, having to kind of be hyper vigilant and to move a certain way. And then you come out and you have to deal with civilians, and that can be difficult, getting used to that. So Colin Sham, what's up, man? Thank you very much. Question for you: how are you managing staying away from old associates? Just deciding that I'm not going to do it, and having boundaries for the ones that I do talk to, you know. And you have to be hard on that. You have to. What happens when you have probation but you are getting another assault charge? Chances are you might get some time, you might not, you might get more probation, who knows, you might get a conditional sentence, but you'll also get a breach, so you don't want to keep up stacking charges, you know what I mean? Doesn't matter. It's a Toyota. Not you, damn, I swear. Damn, what do you think about it? Is these two dudes who push positivity. I try my best to be positive all the time, brother. We had a candidate barbecue and he had to leave. Too many people. Yeah, I get that. I've been in that position. Even if I just like go out for dinner at a restaurant or something like that, as soon as I'm done eating, I want to get out, right? I want to go. I don't like being in huge crowds, so like things like Wonderland or Exhibition and stuff like that are always a challenge. So it's just, you know, over time adjusting and kind of taking some chances and getting used to that, I guess. Lloyd Daly, I'm Matt. Always good to see you and listen to your knowledge of life. Nothing no wrong while bunning a draw. Enjoy yourself, my friend. Appreciate the channel. You already know, man. So shout out to Brampton. Stay clean, stay up, bro. Stick to the herbs, brother. Oh, for sure. I have zero interest in using hard drugs, like zero. I want to get a job in homeless, and I'm broke. I wish I could and make money like this. What? I want to get a job. I'm homeless, and I'm broke. I wish I could do what you do and make money like this. Yeah, I struggle too, man. I just work really hard, you know? You got to get that first opportunity, that first job. And when you get that job, you have to show your value to the company. I've been to jail for a bunch of different things, but primarily break and enters. James S., what up, mate? I appreciate that. Now that weed is fully legal in Canada, do jobs test for it still, or are they not allowed to? Some U.S. states, it's legal. Yeah, I don't know any jobs that test for it here. You know, I'm sure government jobs might, but yeah, no, it's pretty, like, there's weed shops everywhere. There's more weed shops than there are anything else. So I guess if you're working in the rigs and stuff, they might test for it. Anything where it's dangerous, driving, things like that. For sure. Really? That's crazy. I would never work for somebody who's making me pee in a cup. It's crazy to me. I don't have the freedom to do what I want in my own time. Too hot for hair, man. Thank you for your knowledge, man. The world is getting me down. I need to hear some encouragement, and knowledge is encouragement. You already know, man. And just keep in mind that, like, no matter what, life's gonna suck. So if you're in jail, it's gonna suck. If you're on drugs, it's gonna suck. And if you're just working hard and trying to get by day to day and trying to build up whatever you can, a little nest egg for yourself, have a nice place, it's gonna suck, but a lot less than those other circumstances. You know what I mean? I always learn the hard way. You know what I mean? I don't shave off my eyebrows, man. I'm blonde. Do you still look at the security systems or ways to rob places by default because you used to be involved in that business? Not to say you don't push those thoughts out. Like, if I'm walking by, you never know. Sometimes those things might run through my head, but I'm never going to act on it. Oh my God, I heard a little cook call his friend a goof. I told him not to say it again. He laughed at me. That's funny. Do you have to be social in jail? No. You don't have to do anything you don't want to, you know? I just feel like at the end of the day, it's up to you. People might not love it, but believe me, there's a lot of people in the pen that would rather you be quiet and not talk to them than be some social guy trying to make friends with everybody. And a big problem that some guys have is they feel like they're not being accepted, so it makes them feel like they have to try extra hard to make friends with those people. You know what I mean? But you don't talk. What if you don't talk much to people but stand up for yourself? Someone tries something, is that okay? You should always stand up for yourself, 100%. Do I struggle with smoking too much weed? Not really. Hey, Matt, I want you to know that I'm a 43-year-old stepmom to a 20-something-year-old who is in CECC with major charges. I really appreciate your channel. I have a million questions. Well, let's start slow, okay? How long did it take for you to adjust your mental health upon release? I'm still working on it daily. I still have a temper problem for sure, you know. Trying to figure out if it's a good idea to take a plea. It depends on your circumstances. Like, can you beat your charge? Have I ever been to Edmonton? I was there once when I was a kid for like a short period of time, but not really. But I know Edmonton though. I know it's a difficult city to live in, especially if you're trying to turn things around. I know there's a lot of gangs and a lot of drugs, and can't be easy in that kind of environment if you're trying to turn it around. So if you're in the building, go up, hit that like button. 26 to 2, 26, or sorry, 22 to 6. Come on, eh? Edmonton definitely is a tough city for sure. No doubt about it, you know. I feel like every city's got tough areas. Every city's got people that struggle and go through poverty. And I just think that we're in a time right now where it's just difficult, you know. The cost of everything is going up. There's shortages in everything. And I think it's only going to get worse and worse. So buckle up. 16 charges, all federal, was watched for over a month. Man, that sucks. I've been there though. I was watched for 3 months, so I get that. That sucks. What's the proper way to stand up for yourself in jail? Should you give a verbal warning or just get straight to it? It depends on the circumstance. If you feel like you're gonna end up getting jumped or whatever, then you're probably better off to try and get at it first so you can try and get an upper hand. But I'd say you want to be reasonable, you know. Don't just go crazy, because if you act normal, chances are you're going to be all right. You know what I mean? Yeah, my lady's tattoo went good, brother. She's happy about it too. Hey, bro, not sure if you remember, I told you about my boy that's done years inside and in most of all jails, prisons you've been. No, I don't remember exactly, James, but he wants to hit you up when he gets out in December for an interview. Nice. That's what I want. I want guys that are actually doing time. I want guys that have done long sentences. Those are the guys that I want to do interviews with. The problem is most of the guys that are volunteering themselves are guys that have done less than a year of time. Like, I feel like in most situations. And I understand because of the stigma, right? You don't... it's not expected for you to come from prison and go do an interview and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we're in a different time, man. We are. Do you know if you're being watched? What's it like? Yeah, you can definitely feel it when you're being watched. Not always, but like you'll have small inclinations that that's happening for sure. Do you have any type of HVAC, or was it nothing? Different prisons probably do, some don't. What do you mean, did they have some type of HVAC? Yeah, I did hear about the escape. That's crazy, man. That's life though, you know? It's a constant game. If you're doing a lot of time or looking at a lot of time, and you have any chance to get away from it, get out of the country or whatever, why wouldn't you? You know? That's all I'm saying. You're already a criminal. If you get an opportunity to get out, why wouldn't you? If you actually have a way to go and get out of there. If you're escaping to just go have fun, ain't worth it. I know what HVAC is. I just don't understand the question. Do you mean like, are you learning trades in prison? Is that what the question? Yeah, 16 years in and out. It's a long time, man. Tell them to holler at me for sure. Toronto, Mississauga, and Brampton is also getting crazy with all the gunplay and shootings. Ain't even safe going to the store anymore. No, it ain't. You're right. And it everybody's strapped. You know, if you're involved in that life, you kind of have to be, you know. It would be nice to even be able to have a strap to protect yourself if it was legal in this country, like the States. But it's crazy, man. We're headed for rough days, man. I think the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years are going to be really tough. I really do. My boyfriend would be perfect. He's been in over 10 years. Lots of inside experience. I told him about your channel. Tell him to holler. Like heating. OG Scotty Blinks. He did time at the same facility, North Fraser pretrial. Yeah, that's a detention center where you're waiting for sentence. So that's where everybody would go if you're arrested in a certain jurisdiction. So the murder in BC is crazy. I agree. Like as a whole, there's more murder in Toronto, but because it's such small groups of people that are committing so many murders in Vancouver, and it's crazy. The gang, they don't play over there with the gang shit. That's a fact. What trade tickets can you get while incarcerated? You used to be able to get welding tickets, but you can't even get those anymore. So I'm not sure if you can get anything at this point. Okay, cool. What's the best way to get in touch once he's out and ready? Instagram, man. I'll be checking it every once in a while. I hate it. So I know, Gen 913. My plan is to quit smoking cigarettes this year. I'm not sure I'm ever going to stop smoking weed, but cigarettes for sure. Some prisons in the States the cell blocks have heating and air conditioning. Some don't, and they suck because of it. So Canadian penitentiaries do not have air conditioner. Now, if you're in the detention center, they will be climate controlled. So although it's not AC, the temperature is kind of always level, like in the low 20s, right? Maybe 20, whatever, right? And then in the wintertime, it'll get cold. But in the penitentiary, most of them anyways, are older, right? And they don't come with the air conditioner. So you're struggling, like Millhaven, Joyceville, those little tiny cramped cells with no AC get so unbearably hot sometimes. And it's just tough. It's a tough existence. I know, brother. I really, believe me, I want to quit. I smoke a lot of cigarettes too, but I want to quit. That's a fact. Is it difficult to seduce a female guard? How often does that happen? I don't know. It depends on who you are as a man. I'd say that anytime you have 500 men and then you have, however many women working there, there's always a risk. Like you'd have to assume that at least one man in that prison would catch the female's eyes. So if he was able to talk to her in the right way and blah, 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 then that could happen, right? You see it happen. It's not as common as you think. At least people aren't out with it as common as you think. Because in Canada, anyways, when something like that gets out, people get jealous, kites start flying, and before long, the play's dead. My ex did 26 in Millhaven. I hated going there. Yeah, that's crazy. That's a guy. I'd like to interview that person a lot. Workworth has a lot of female staff. Yeah, there's a lot of pens that do. They'll always have a group of big dudes that can stop the issues if they have to. In Canada, COs and stuff get paid well. So if they're not on a hiring freeze, they'll be able to constantly hire people. The problem is the government constantly goes on hiring freezes here. Listening to you, Matt, has really opened up my eyes about jails and prisons. That life ain't for me. It's a waste of time and life and talent. And it's just a lose-lose. Like there's no positive coming out of being in prison. Sure, you can improve your life. Yes, you can. You can put yourself and improve your intelligence in prison. Yes, you can. But the social dynamics in your life that are important for relationships and just creating a happy consciousness are stunted. And because of that, you're fucked. So it's not worth it. Is there a difference between provinces about the way the PO treat inmates during parole? I would definitely say that there's provinces that you're probably more likely to get parole than others. But I'd say in Canada as a whole, it's become easier to get parole, specifically in Ontario. Because when I first started doing time in the federal system, you could not get parole at all, really. Like if you weren't accelerated parole, maybe a first-time non-violent offender, you weren't getting parole. Christopher Lake, love and respect. Shout out to Peterborough. I got some friends out there. I hope to avoid prison because if I get a criminal record, I won't be able to own guns legally. Can't let that happen. You already know. I know where I'm coming if the war kicks off, bruh. Holler at me on Instagram if it happens. I can come get one of those straps. Happy in prison don't exactly go together. No, they don't. And if you are in a position where you're happy going to prison, then you're institutionalized, and it's going to be even harder to get out of, you know? Being institutionalized is difficult. Like, a lot of people don't understand. It can get to a point where you start feeling more comfortable in prison than you do on the street. You start relating more to the people breaking the law than to civilians. And then it gets to a point that when you're in the street, you just don't care because you don't really even particularly want to be there, although you're telling yourself you do. But if you really did, then you would stay, right? Because I want to be out now, and I'm magically, look at me, I'm out. Cold Turkey Girl, thanks for the $13.99 or $13.96. I appreciate that very much. So thank you. Do you have any advice on how to reduce your security score while inside? Programs. As many programs as you can get yourself into. Don't get any misconducts, no dirty piss tests. If you don't do that, your score will go down by itself. Hello, Matt. Love your show. People feel more comfortable in prisons. How very, very sad. It's sad, but it can be true. For a large portion of my life, that was me. Hey, Matt, I know you're familiar with Toronto. What's your thoughts on Oshawa? Have you had any experience, good, bad, otherwise, or no? I never spent time in Oshawa, but I know a lot of people from Oshawa. I know Oshawa has a high level of drug issues and violence and gangs, and I know it's only getting worse. I would definitely say that if you're somebody who's trying to get off of drugs, Oshawa would not be probably the best place for you to try to live. Now, if you have kids there or whatever, and that's your circumstance, and it is what it is, but if you can, I would suggest that you would probably get out of there. How do you donate to the channel? Well, you could go to my PayPal and donate through there. Well, you'd have to go back to some of the older videos and find a link. Or you could do a thanks or a chat on here, a super chat or whatever it is. Newborn Assassin, what's up, my brother? Are there hand gestures sort of like sign language that prisoners use? Today my son circled his heart. I would say so, yeah, definitely. I would say that especially in detention centers with American style prisons where it's all glass that separates the ranges and you can see other ranges, people definitely learn how to read lips and do sign language. So definitely, and some people are really good at it. Don't they teach people skills to survive on the outside? Don't they teach people trades, finance, gain your... Like, you can get a degree if you get it yourself, right? Like, they're not forcing that on you or really even trying to suggest that. Sam G, thanks for the $13.99, man. I appreciate that very much. But they're just gonna let you do your time. They don't really care, man. Believe me. If you're gonna fuck it up and stay in jail, you're giving them job security. They don't care. I'm in Windsor and only went out to our county jail a few times. It sucks, so I never went back. Yeah, my bro's in Windsor, so jail's never good, man. I didn't get a fresh cut. I just buzzed it, eh? Summertime. It's been really hot, so I just took it off. Cleaned it off. That's it. No games. Hey mate, I just found your channel. I've never been to prison or in trouble with the police, but I'm not Canadian, but lived in Vancouver for a few years. What are prisons like there? I'd say that Vancouver would have some of the more luxurious prisons in the country. I would say next to maybe Quebec. And Quebec's prisons, I would say, are more violent, but you would still want to do time in Quebec over BC. I feel like it's a pretty solid con mentality still there. And I don't know, if I had a choice, I would think that Quebec would be the best for me in the way of time I would want to do. But some people would want to be in BC, man. There's some prisons where you can literally like look out onto the ocean, see whales. So yeah, you know, I appreciate that, Sam G, mate. Thank you very much. Quitting, homie. I got molested at gunpoint by a correctional officer. It's the worst when you have a homosexual guard. Are you trolling? Because they don't just carry guns around, you know what I mean? Not in Canada. Yeah, are you in the US? If it's non-violent charge, could you do a full... Could you go... Could you go like directly to minimum security? Yes. William Head in Victoria, BC. That's right on the ocean. Yeah, that's the one, man. Have you ever heard of guys going from work with or high medium straight to minimum? Bath and BCI would not be good fit for my guy, so hoping he can skip them and go straight to camp. Yeah, honestly, Bath and BCI are both easy time. Bath is probably not going to get to. You'll probably have to go to Beaver Creek. It's a nice time. You cook your own food there. You get touch visits. You behave yourself. You'll be in the camp next door in like 6 months. So, but you could go directly to camp. It's possible. No, Canada, happened in remands, Edmonton, the new prison. Really? That's crazy. What if it's something G, like drunk driving, manslaughter? Is that medium security charge? What do you mean G? I would definitely say that manslaughter would not be a minimum security charge. Drunk driving could definitely be a minimum security charge. Drunk driving causing death could definitely be a minimum security charge, even though it's technically classified as a violent offense. Like Marco Muzzo, you know who that is? He went right to minimum. So, actually, no, he didn't. Sorry, no, he didn't. He went to low medium first, and then to medium. So, or to minimum. So it's possible. But I'd say that most people are going to go to medium. There's a small percentage of inmates that'll go directly to camp. If you're like a first-time drug offender and have no institutional issues, you'll probably go directly to camp. If you're a first-time federal offender, break and enter charges or something like that, you'll probably go directly to camp. But that's only if your institutional record is good, because a couple fights, 1-2 fight, that could kill your chance of ever getting to a minimum. And as soon as you put yourself in a position to go to a medium, now you're in a position where it's more prison-like, right? So your chances of getting out without getting into confrontation and all that stuff becomes much less. So Mel M, $13.99, thank you very much. Where are these? Okay, yeah, sorry, I thought it kind of got stuck on. Hey Matt, you just come on whenever, or will you have a schedule so I can tell my friends about the channel? Yeah, I could start doing maybe like one schedule a week. Let me think about that. All right, I like doing it just kind of spur of the moment, but we could always do that. That's a fact. Institution is madness. Yeah, any maximum institution can be crazy, right? Like max is max. So any inmate who's been charged with murder is going to go to max for 2 years. So the worst guys from your province in terms of capability to commit violence are in that prison. So it's definitely going to be the worst prison in British Columbia. What do they do with you if you're like 80 years of age or older, severely disabled, or a midget, dwarf? I don't think so. I don't think it really matters. I just think it depends on how you act. I had a homeboy who wasn't technically a dwarf, but he had problems with Crohn's disease. So he was only like 5 foot tall, just a little tiny dude. And he did his time perfectly fine. So I just think it just depends on who you are, right? Hey Matthew, it's Kevin from New York. I had a question. Are the bathrooms as bad as people say? I don't know what you mean. Are people getting graped? Doesn't happen. Not in Canada, it doesn't. Not in general population anyways. KR10, what's up, man? Yeah, it is a paddy wagon ride now. So when I first started doing federal time, you would take the Grey Goose. It's like a chartered bus. Windows, everything. You're comfortable. The last couple times I went to the pen, you go in a paddy wagon. So it's not exactly like a court paddy wagon, but it's almost the same. So you go in the back, there's two sides, doors open, you sit in, you're on like a TTC bench, but it's like metal. You know what I mean? What is the longest stretch I've ever done? The longest stretch I've ever done straight was just under 4 years. What's the minimum time you can get for stabbing someone? I don't know. You might not even be aggravated assault. If you just cut somebody in the arm or something, you could probably get like assault causing bodily harm. I don't know. You could get as low as a couple of months, I'm sure, depending on how bad it is. Like if you took the blade off a saran wrap, right? That serrated blade, and chopped somebody in the leg, you're not going to get like 100 years in prison, right? But if you're stabbing somebody in the heart, it's a much different situation, right? Never spent time around Orangeville, my brother. My boyfriend got sucker punched by a little person while in the bucket. Those little people can hold their own. That's hilarious. What are the odds? You see some crazy things in prison though, man. You do. And I'm telling you, guys find a way to make the best of their time, and you actually end up having some fun every once in a while. If you kill one in some self-defense in the pen, will the inmate stick up for you? What do you mean though? Like against the coppers? Like, will they defend you? Like, I don't understand. What do you mean? Like, if you were to kill someone in self-defense in the pen, you're probably not going to get much time. Like, they're not coming after you really like that. You know? If you're in the building, go up, hit that like button, 4118. Come on. It's easy, helps the algorithm, and I appreciate it. What are the most dangerous places in Toronto for someone to get robbed? I don't know. It depends. There's lots of different areas. If you're in North York, like Southside Jane, even Northside Jane, Scarborough in some areas, East York in some areas, downtown in some areas. Like, there's a lot of areas where you could get cooked, could get robbed. But Toronto's also, like, there's a lot of nice areas too where you can just chill and not really worry about that. Like, it's a city though, right? Like, so at the end of the day, it's always a risk. But if you're going to the projects, then you're gonna have it's more likely you're gonna run into an issue like that. Hey Matt, it's Kevin again. I just watched the new Minions movie, and in it they say prison used to be built out of awful materials up to 2006. 2006. No, I don't believe that. Yeah, I get it what you're saying, FBI, but I think guys would always do that anyways, you know? And there's cameras everywhere, man. There is now cameras everywhere. My first time in Joyceville, even like a bit into my second time, there's no cameras on the ranges at all. At all. There was one in the common room, that's it. But the whole range, all the cells, the washroom, there's no camera. So it was a much different time. And a metal shop in a high security prison. It was crazy. Yeah, and Rexdale too. Anywhere, there's a lot of places in Etobicoke you could get cooked. There's places in Mississauga and Brampton you could get robbed. There's places in York you could get robbed. It's not about the place, it's about the people, man. It's not about where you're from, it's about who you are. Mystery Cook, appreciate that. I don't mind jail. My lawyers usually come running. I haven't done more than a month. Thank you all my lawyers and 5 judges. 5 love y'all. I'm from France. The criminals here love the American show The Wire. Is it the same in Canada? Is it a realistic show for someone who really knows? Yeah, I'd say it's pretty realistic. I know quite a few people that have been involved in murders and cases and shot people, and it happens in the city, man. So I know, not the Minions movie, but I never watched it. Do the screws kill inmates like in the U.S. prisons? Of course. It doesn't happen as often, 100%. I think they're less stressed here, right? Like, they make more money and they have less of a burden. So I've been trying to eat good, Cody. My buddy got stabbed in the head for no reason, 2 inches, and would have hit his brain. I'm only asking because I saw the fool walk on the streets 2 weeks later. Glory. What was the first question there, Glory? Sorry, I didn't see it. What was the actual question? Can you tell me? The Wire's all right. It honestly kind of bored me. Kind of personal question, Matt. Did you meet your girlfriend before prison, while you're in prison, or when you got out? I met her just when I got out in treatment. And we both had the same intention of getting sober, and I just knew that. And we helped each other get sober, and we help each other stay sober. So, although she doesn't even smoke weed or drink beer. Summer almost done, man. Time flies as we get older. That is a fact, T-Dot. What up? Shout out to you, man. Do the screws get decent pay? Or not? Honestly, the screws here in federal, even in provincial, they get paid well, not quite as well, but they're starting at like $25 an hour, fully union, full benefits, 4 weeks vacation pay, and within 5-6 years, they'll be making close to $100,000. They get tons of hours and they don't do nothing. And then the feds, the cops here, a regular beat cop here makes over $100,000. At least in the big regions, you know what I mean? In the Golden Horseshoe. I spent all of 2021 in the South instead of the Hearst because of COVID. South is kind of sweet compared to all the others I've been to. But that's because you were probably on the indirect side, right? Where you have your cell open, the TVs. Go to the direct side. It's a much different life. It's me from New York. I just researched it, my bro. It's true. In 2006. No, there was, every prison wasn't rebuilt. Is it a good idea? I was in prison in 2006. Is it a good idea to stash or keister a cell phone before going to prison? There's scanners when you get into most provincial jail. 25 hours to start. You know what I mean? That's not where they end up. You know, they end up doing really well. Believe me, for the amount of work they do, it's remember, our prisons here, like our biggest jails hold like 1,000 guys, 1,200 guys, and those are detention centers. Our penitentiaries, our maximum security is like 300 guys in population. It's literally like nothing. You ever had a run-in with, not Mighty Man? Oh yeah, the Fed, the CO, definitely. But I don't know. I've crossed paths with him. I don't know him though. I've never had any like encounter with him. I did more time in the West, so the guards in the West were the ones that I'd say were the worst. But I know who he is and I know what he's done. Will a guard put their life on the line to stop inmates killing each other? Sometimes. You'd be surprised. Sometimes. They'll just pop you though. If you're in the pen and you're in the yard and you're stabbing somebody, they're just gonna pop you. That's it. But in most jails in Canada, the guards are gonna rush in if you're fighting. Like the videos I watch where guys are just getting stabbed for 10 minutes, 15 minutes in like a detention center in the US, you're not seeing that here really in most cases. Now, sometimes it'll be hidden and they won't see what's going on, or they'll turn a blind eye to it. But in most cases, they're coming and they're going to be smashing when they come. Brother, microdosing is the far better experience and super blessed. Yeah, you know what though, T-Dot? I did that experience and I learned a lot from it. I learned that I needed to organize my life more. I'd like beat up myself because of how unorganized my life was, you know what I mean? My first question was, what's the minimum time you can get for stabbing someone in the head? I don't know, maybe 2 years if it's bad enough stabbing, maybe. Can you get a PS1 in Millhaven? Yeah. And you can get any of the games. Anyways, you guys, been 41 minutes. I gotta go, but you already know, man. I love you guys. This live was dope. I had a good time. I appreciate the donations. It means the world to me that you guys would even, you know, open your pockets to me. I don't, it's not necessary, you know, like I appreciate you just watching the video, so thank you very much. And honestly, I appreciate you guys coming and chilling with me. It was good times. It helps me, you know. Sometimes I need to vent. I need to get some stuff off my chest, and I'm able to do it with you guys, and I love that. So I appreciate you guys, man. R. Kelly got 30 years, diddler. But you guys already know, man. I love you guys.